Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa Puttang saranang gacchami Dhammang saranang gacchami Sanghang saranang gacchami. Thank you. Thank you.
Do you want Martin to wear a scarf?
Yes, they got it now. If you got it, it will be great. Friend in the Dhamma, good evening. This is the Friend in Dhamma program on Sunday, 16, 2021. I'm Jakun Lau from England, and today we have a number of friends who may interest in the topic. Visit today, I would like to invite friends wherever you are. If you think you would like to share your opinion, it will be very, very good. Today's program is, I have a long day today with many things happening in our daily routine. Since this morning to the present time and on also this evening program. So we normally have the program on Sunday, Saturday and Sunday program about the Friend in Dhamma program. So we are two monks between myself and Panya Vachiro going to discuss some idea. Today we plan to talk about how Buddhist monk can help society, which is related to the program this morning. So this time it's maybe a good idea to hear monks and also the lay who is English to say something in their opinion and how as a monk I can help the people or society. So that is my topic today. And you are welcome to send your message, and also if you like to be in on the program, please do so. Because today we've been working very, very hard, and then we got quite a number of people who can share our program throughout the day today. This morning we start very early morning to the morning chanting, and the chanting that we chant is a long hour. So we chant 1 hour and 30 minutes. In other words, 90 minutes that we chant, and we have a lot of people to join today. Good evening, David Skills. Thank you very much for coming. That is wonderful. It's wonderful that for you are here today and that you like to say something very good. Good evening, Kun Pakong Si, Gardner, and good evening, Kun Natikan Colbert. And we have Nick here, and he just arrived, and also good evening, Nick, but then good evening, Panya Vachiro. And good evening, another person might be, I will invite individual first before they join, okay? First of all, I would like to invite the monk Panya Vachiro, and after that I invite Nick, and then the people can share. And also I would like to invite Martin as well. Nick, you can be as you are, no problem. So first of all, I invite Panya Vachiro.
Yes.
Are you there?
I'm here.
Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening.
Oh, you must be very, very excited going home tomorrow.
Apprehensive would be a better word. I don't know what I'm going to meet at the border.
That is very good. Okay. Well, today, before we invite the other audience or guests, you and me, and I would like you to think about what I think and then what you think. After become a monk for many years, and I've been working very hard, I think, for Buddhism and for the lay people, in my opinion anyway, and also to live in society nowadays. I would like to ask you, the question that we're going to ask is how Buddhist monks can help society. So we got we got Martin, we got Martin and Nick here, but we going to invite them later, but not now. So can you just explain because I got this question from the people this morning. I said how Buddhist monk can help society and how far that we can help, how much that we can help, and what the people expect the monk to help society. That is my question today, and then I will ask individual to answer that after that.
I'll give you a starter for 10. Good grief. Well, society is made up of individuals. All societies are made up of individuals. The Sangha present a role model for behavior. The role model sort of says, do good and be good. It sort of says, think wholesome thoughts, do wholesome things. Remove from your life all the craving and clinging that causes hatred, greed, and goodness knows what else. Remove delusions. Don't think things which are wrong, or don't believe things that are wrong. So when we start talking to people as role models, we always show that we have given up those sorts of things and we're developing the other sorts of the good things. So encouraging the people with metta encourages people to be better. You know, I've got to say it like this. I was once asked how I would overthrow a government, and everyone expects me to use a big gun. But the right way to overthrow a government and the right way to help a society is by helping each other to start with, making a definite effort to help people around you. If you're fighting an army and one of the soldiers, the opposing soldiers, falls down, you help him too. You help everyone. And as you help everyone, your little tiny group gets bigger and bigger and bigger. You know, there are only 7% of the whole world population that are Buddhists. Only 7% of the whole world. It's not very many. But that little tiny group of Buddhists, by being good to each other, by showing the right way to do things, by genuinely helping each other, little tiny bit at a time, you start to grow a bigger group and a bigger group and a bigger group until it becomes a society and until you become strong enough to unseat bad governments. And it's really the only way forward that is sure. It's slow, but sure. And I'm saying that about a society. You start off by making yourself good and then making people around you good. You know, young Martin said something tonight when you were interviewing him. And he said something like, I will get a lot out of being a novice. It will do me good. It will look after me. And then before you could say that he was being selfish in his thoughts, and everyone around me, and everyone around me. And yesterday, Nick and his family, and everyone around me. You see, by giving the right role model and the right information to the people, educating the people properly, you make a big difference. Big difference in small steps. That's how we can help society.
Well,
You want it in
what
Abhidhamma,
you
I can do that.
expect? I mean, when you see the monks in society, what you expect the monk to help you?
To help you as an individual.
Yes, because after
Well,
individual turn to be many in the
well,
society.
those people who are lucky enough to have their eyes open, and there may not be all that many of them, but those lucky enough to realize that contact with the Dhamma through the monks is about the best thing they can possibly do in life. It's I don't know. Do you gain merit through trying to understand the Dhamma? I don't know. Actually, that's a question I don't know the answer to. But I mean,
Right.
I
Okay.
know jolly well that you will definitely, by being with the monks, being with the Sangha, being in contact with the monks, learning the Dhamma, will make a better person of you, and the little society around you becomes better, and eventually the whole society becomes better. So what can the monks do? Be monks.
Okay. Right. Okay. Now I start with you first. Now I am going to ask the not Martin, the Nick. Yesterday he was here and then he helped us to answer some very good answer. Today I will ask him. Nick, good evening, Nick.
Hello, sir. Hello.
Good evening. Okay, thank you very much for coming to this evening again. Today we have a question to ask you because when you are as a lay person and then you support the monks and then you see the monk life a lot and you work along with the monk. What you exactly see? How can Buddhist monk help society and in which way and how it can be very helpful for the not only the society Buddhist society alone but society as a whole. What is the best way or whatever you think expectation from you?
What I'd like to see is it promoted in religious education. So every school visits a temple, and they understand exactly what Buddhism is to dispel these ridiculous notions that people have. I'd also like to see monks in the hospital. If a parent is sick or one of your relatives, and there's a young person visited a temple, they can see the monk, they can see the orange come in. They know that man is or the monk is compassionate, and it's right action for the monk. Part of the Eightfold Path. I'd like to see the monks more visible in society, where in people's hour of need, that's when they shine.
Yes. So that is the first
Wow.
thing. Yeah.
Well, that's just one of my ideas, because ultimately, when at my darkest hour, when the priest was in the ICU, he didn't seem to have any time for me. But spending all this time with the monks will do absolutely anything for people. I've seen people very unhappy here leaving with smiles on their faces, and I'd like to see that being promoted more broadly in society to promote Buddhism.
How can the monk help the people in society? Which way? Which direction?
Well,
You mean like the monk to go to be seen at hospital to help the people who need help in hospital, like the Buddhist chaplain at hospital, something like that?
yes, sir. But by promoting it in schools as well with religious education, the people that are sick, they might not be able to help them, but the family around them is suffering a great deal. Especially the young children might receive a blessing or just a kind word, and that will stick in their heads, and it will help them to alleviate some of that suffering.
Well, that is very good suggestion. There was one person who was not well. I went to visit. That is what Thai girl, Thai student, and hospital. I heard that she got operation. Yeah, and we like to visit her, but when they allow us to visit her one day, I went there, and with my colleague, two of us went there. At the time, the patient I visit, she was slept. Yeah, she it's not at all that for us to wake her up in the right time, because she must be very tired. And we turn to there. We wait for about almost 20 minutes and walk around. And then after that, she not awake yet. So we just say, my name so and so. We just say we come to visit her and like to give the blessing to her. Yeah.
Wonderful, sir.
That is very good suggestion. But one thing that we message to those who next to the next bed to that Thai student, Thai girl student, and after she woke up, the person, she didn't know about the monks, not at all. And because we came to visit her without telling her, because we Buddhist chaplain and went to hospital. We talk about Birmingham Hospital at the time. The person who know nothing about Buddhism and see us, we have no hair, and then woke up and then tell her, the friend, that your friends come and visit you, two of them. And the Thai student woke up, and then I have no friend here. Although they came to visit you, two of them, yeah. And how they dress? Oh, they dress very, very. I don't know how they dress. They cover them body, and they have no hairs. Yeah, they have no hair, and this the lady asked her, is male or female? Oh, I think it's female, but they have no hair. Because they wear, that they wear like you see the monk robe is you can't identify male or female, yeah. And the lady, when she got that kind of message, and then what about they look like? Oh, their color, the color like a little bit yellow color, yeah. Oh, color yellow, and she got the idea the yellow color is a monk, and she just laughed, and then she phoned to the temple. Did you come to visit me? Yes. And then she just laughed. They, because of she so ignorance about the monks, yeah. So I got the idea. The Buddhist monk supposed to be seen more in the area, like where university or hospital or school. I agree with you that to be promoted, to be seen. That is your idea. I agree with you.
You forget something, Ajahn.
Yeah.
Ajahn Lau, you forget something.
What?
You forget something.
What is that?
When I was seriously ill, recovering from, or just not even recovering, I didn't get a chance with you.
Oh, yes, you're right. Yeah.
I'd just come round from the anaesthetic with hardly a face on.
Yes.
And who was chanting there?
It was me.
and was it welcome?
Yes.
Yeah, actually. I mean, I might be biased now, but I can assure you at the time, as a layperson, and not knowing that much about the Dhamma or whatever, I was more than pleased. Not pleased, I felt better because of it. It's a feeling of being wanted, a feeling of being respected, a feeling of being helped. So I can speak from personal experience. They might think I'm biased, but the truth of the matter is, coming round and hearing you and one other chanting, was a wonderful experience. Okay.
That is wonderful. That's very
And I
good.
couldn't laugh then if I tried.
Well, I will ask the person who just arrived. He personally he interested in Buddhism, and he practiced Buddhism before, or I don't know, but I think and somebody say I believe being very aware even in the prison for helping the people. So that is true. We are the Buddhist monk go everywhere. And then Kun Prakongsi said, I can be everywhere in prison as well. That is the fact. Yes, I agree with her. So what I like to see opinion from the person who are not a monk yet. What you think the monk life can help you, and on to be a little bit on that. But however, I was just about to invite Martin. Martin is one of my students who come from Scotland, and then he himself. I like to ask him about his life a little bit if he doesn't mind. So welcome, Martin. Are you there, Martin?
Hello, Martin.
Are you all right with that?
Can you see me?
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Turn
Yes.
it
Okay.
upwards.
Very good, Martin. You know why? Because when you talk, your very voice very quiet. So you will asked to talk on microphone. Right, Martin, can you tell me a little bit about your background before you come to King's Family?
Before I came, I was practicing in Aberdeen at the Valapina Meditation Centre. But I'm Pira, for about a year and a half. So
We still not hear you that much. Can you hear yourself clear or not? Can you hear yourself?
Can you not hear me properly?
Can you hear yourself well? Because we can't hear you much. Can you use without microphone? Can you talk without microphone?
Hear me better now?
That is quite good. Okay then.
Okay, yeah.
Yes.
What would you like me to explain about my experience?
Your beginning of your before you come here. Can you tell us a little bit of your background, please?
Yeah, sure. So I was invited down to King's Bromley by one of the monks who stayed in Aberdeen for about 2 years, and I approached him with the intentions of helping myself be more comfortable in mind. So I spent some time in Thailand, and I realised that the people to go to when you're in trouble there is the monks. So my intention was to get some help from a monk, and from that I learned a lot of kind of techniques to be more comfortable.
Okay. We lost some information here, but what I understand that you've been involved with the temple. How many years you said?
About 2 years now.
2 years. How you feel about you being a novice? What do you expect from being a novice?
Yeah, I've been interested in doing this for a while now. I think I'm finally ready to do it. For me, it's an investment in my future. So, yeah, kind of, so I can be more comfortable in the future, basically. So I can take care of myself and other people better and cause less suffering for myself and others. So it's kind of the main thing, really.
Okay. Well, Nick, I'd like to ask you a bit more. What you see from the person who has never been a novice monk and would like to become a monk? What do you think that person can gain something from become a novice, even very short period, in your opinion?
Well, I believe that a person that goes through that path will develop great empathy, concentration, lots of wisdom, and just basically be a better person in general, sir. An all-round decent human being, and develop great gifts along the way.
If you were a monk, what which area and how much do you think you can do for society?
I believe I could do a great deal of good by promoting Buddhism and dispelling some of the illusions around it, but most of all, just helping people. That's my main drive in life, and I would find that most rewarding. Trying to promote, basically trying to give back what I've received to let people in the world see Buddhism for what it really is.
Why you like to promote Buddhism?
Well, because it's not mainstream here, and through you can see it through its compassionate approach to humanity, what it can offer. Meditation is just a small taste of it, but it encompasses so much more. And by immersing in King's Bromley, I've experienced so many wonderful things. I'd like the world to see it, really. And I think anybody that has an opportunity to come here, it's like walking in mist. You can't absorb it, and like take it back to your life in the lay life, and you'll just grow as a person in general.
What is different between your daily life at home and the life in the temple? What make you different from normal life?
In the temple, I'm surrounded by wonderful monks. Everybody in the community, where there's a real feeling of serenity. I'm able to learn. I'm able to absorb knowledge, grow as a person. But in the real world, like we spoke about yesterday, our senses are thwarted by advertising, eat more, do this, do that, and take the behaviours with me. And I'm also teaching my family to be better without them realising it. We just, on the outside, we're just assaulted by consumerism. People don't realise that they're moving too fast. They're not being mindful, and they're not enjoying their lives because they're trying to do 3 things at once. So.
Right. That is very, very good. Banya Bachiro, when you already now a monk, before you become a monk at the time, now you are a monk in our society, and I'd like to know how much you expect from the monk before, and how can you put back to the way in which you might be expected from monks when you are already a monk now.
Oh, well. Well, I mean, I try. You're talking about me personally now.
Yes.
Well, I try to expand and by the way, promote Buddhism by, well, we had the opportunity to develop a new temple in Plymouth. I've spent many, many months actually working there, making it work, helping other people to understand how to do it quickly and yet still properly. And I have ideas for that place because it's very large. We can have a community centre there and hopefully have people in, even if it's only, even if it's, we have to start with a creche or something. Personally, I would like to go out to the schools and the places of learning, like we do here with youth groups and scout groups and any group at all, to be honest, and encourage them to come along and enjoy a small portion of our peace and tranquility, our happiness, always happiness. I mean, not just we're happy because this happened, but always happy, always working, and happy in our work, and seeing the way that we live can only be a good thing for people. So I would like that to happen. I mean, I'm working towards actually going into schools to encourage schools to send their little groups to us. Not so little sometimes, you know, we've had as many as 50 children from a single school here at a time, 7 or 8 teachers and whatever. And we can help them understand a little about Buddhism and differentiate it from the normal world of greed and malice and anger and goodness knows what. Show them there is a better way of life. You never know, some of them might come back, even if they don't. By showing them there is a good way, a better way of living, something might rub off. It would be better still if we could actually give lessons of one sort or another in order to be able to spend more time helping them understand. So that's been going on, and that I'm involved with. Same here, really. We've had no chance to do it this year, but certainly hope that when this COVID thing is lifted or whatever, we can start outreach work, going and seeing the people, going and giving talks at schools and the like, teaching the monks English so that they can speak and show their devotion and their really nice ideas about living. I mean, I said earlier, just meeting the Sangha is a blessing, in fact, because there's only 7% of the population. I don't know what percentage of the population is the Sangha. It's going to be tiny, infinitesimal, in fact. But to do that, we are helping with this WBDO, which is a sort of separate unit altogether. So there's no sort of competition there. We're encouraging all of the temples that we can throughout the world. I mean, just tonight you've mentioned India with this young man Malik, and trying to get them together as a Sangha. They haven't got one at the moment, I'm told. But by using the WBDO, we can encourage them to take part in activities, widen their horizons, look out towards teaching people. I mean, I know they have an awkward sort of society there, but nevertheless, it's a little bit at a time. It's always a little bit at a time. Someone said that a bucket fills from a drip of water, and it does. So using the WBDO as a vehicle, really, we're bringing different Sanghas together and working together. I mean, how many? I can't remember, 50 or more senior monks are involved at the moment. So, yeah, we're doing quite a lot, and I'm doing quite a lot as well, towards helping all those things happen. And I hope to continue it, and as long as I can, actually, because it's such a good thing.
Okay, that is very good. I would like to ask Martin. Martin, you've been expecting to become a novice. What do you think you like to do back to society when if you were a monk?
Right, what I would like to give back to society, did you ask?
When you were a monk, yeah.
Okay. I just enjoy helping people and explaining my experiences and how I've got through them, and explaining the Dhamma in the way I understand it. Quite often I can relate to younger people who are maybe getting in trouble, and then I can explain what I've went through. Basically, kind of through my own actions of unwholesome behaviour, and I ended up in kind of not great situations, and then finally coming across Buddhism and changing certain behaviours and associating with different people, and then of that coming suffering and less suffering and whatever. So I can kind of explain that to people, I feel like. So
Okay. Right. Panya Vachiro, I would like to ask you this comment from David Gill. Many people in the West treat Buddhism as a fringe religion, whereas in country where Buddhism is the norm, is it the way of life? Is it embraced in daily life? What do you think about this comment?
Embedded in daily life. Well, it is, and I mean, I would like to see it embedded in daily life in the Western countries, because actually, if the West take it on, newcomers are always better at practicing than those who have practiced forever, because they are actually thinking about it. Whereas when you're born with it and you live with it and the whole thing is there, you just take it for granted. And I think Westerners, were they to sort of take more people on, they would not be taking it for granted. They'd actually be working at it. You know, I mean, the ladies that come to the temple and the ladies that are interested, and the men that are interested too, that they're a breed apart, really. You know, they come along and do their thing, but I'll bet for every one of those, there's 10 that don't come to the temple. You know, in Poland, I met the Vietnamese people. There are a fair few Vietnamese. They were given some sort of special status in Poland when the wars were on, and they claim to worship the Buddha, and they have a little shrine in the house, possibly, but I've seen no evidence of it. You know, they just treat it as though, well, I'm Buddhist, that's it. A bit like Christians treat it. Well, I'm Christian. I go there when I'm born and when I marry and when I die. You know, I don't think that would be here if Buddhism were to be pressed and start taking it into the mainstream. Yeah, I think it's well, it's what I'd like to see. I mean, both these young men have been talking about giving back into society. I rarely think about it like that, to be honest. I rarely think like that. I just do it, and it's you know, it's sort of built in me to want to see people get on in life. In fact, I obsess over it sometimes with individuals. how they can get on in life. But like we have a racetrack, an off-road racetrack in Walsall in the West Midlands, and it's not just as a result of my Buddhist ideals. But it is a big part of it. We have already invited many wayward youths, young people who are in trouble with the police. I mean, sometimes the police refer them to us because they can't cope with them. Well, they don't want to cope with them. They take too much time up. The local school, which is an enormous secondary school or whatever, comprehensive, I think, they send their youngsters to us. It could be seen as rewarding their bad behavior in ways, but by being with real people and having an interest in life, they tend to, I'll call it get better. They tend to become better people. And if they see, it's what I mean about role models. If these young people see these young men and men working away with their motorbikes and their quad bikes and whatever, and enjoying each other's company and talking to each other decently and properly, it's a set of role models where the youngsters take it on board, and many do. They want to come back all the time, not just to get on the bikes, but to help clean up things, whatever, menial tasks, small jobs. So it travels. I've just said about it being good to each other, thinking of ways of helping people overcome problems in life, and enjoyable ways. I know coming to the temple is important. It's very important, actually. But that's the next step. The first step is to actually have people seeing how monks behave. I mean, yeah, more by being more visible in society, people would become more used to it. I go to the local shop here, and I'm an Englishman dressed up in ochre, and I don't even get a second glance now. And there's a pub car park that shares the same car park with the shop, so there are many people there sometimes, and I just get a wave or something, but nothing nasty. Nothing nasty. A few odd looks occasionally. But you see, going out into society makes them used to seeing you. And as long as you're behaving correctly, they accept you. And it makes it more likely that you can actually spread the Dhamma. So being out there doing things is very important. And the monks can certainly help society by being out there and doing things. Our biggest problem is, well, the number of monks we don't have. And the next problem is they don't speak English. The ladies should shame these men, these monks. They speak much better English than most of the monks do. And it's what we've got to teach them. We've got to help them find ways of learning English, so that they can communicate with the population in whatever country they are, here in England or in the States or in Australia or whatever, any English-speaking country. They, by learning English, they will make themselves able to communicate, and by being able to communicate, they can go out there and do the things that have been suggested. Hospitals, universities, schools, goodness knows what, anywhere people congregate, actually. Anywhere.
Well, that is very good point that you mentioned. Unfortunately, our monk is very. We've been blamed for many years about the language, which is we are not at all in the language. This is our nature. I don't know why, but now we try our best to introduce the classes for the monks, and the number of the monks who are here nowadays. We ask them to have English language, to be here. I would like to ask Martin a little bit on the top of this, the idea of after he become a monk. How long you think you like to be a monk in your your life and on what you would like to gain from the monk, if you think it could be good for your life. You know that you said I would like to use the monk novice life as to teach me to behave, to getting better, whatever. So how long you think it can be good for you for your next step as a Buddhist monk? We have the problem with your microphone most of the time, and Martin. So what happened now?
Yeah, okay. So my initial thought was to do the 3 month, like traditional Thai, with a young man, kind of go for 3 months arranged retreat, and you know, it kind of what it says, that ripens the fruit. But I think I'd like to just think about it as one day at a time, instead of setting some time limit or time scale on it. So just one day at a time and enjoy it. Try to just learn every day, one step at a time. Yeah, so I'd like to learn a lot more about the meditation, and just get Dhamma really deep in my mind, and so it's more like a way of life for me, instead of just an idea. So yeah,
that is very good.
Could be a bit longer than 3 months, I hope.
Right. Okay, that is very good. Such well is a way of life for you for next step. Yeah. The lady also appreciate Panya Vachiro about his and for yourself, Martin, it's very good that you have your good your focus or direction that you think it can be helpful for your life in the future. That is very good. As our Thai culture and the Thai monks in our tradition, we allow someone who would like to be trained as a monk about 3 months. That is very good. In that 3 months after you become a monk and you can leave, as you learn that, because it's very good thing for a man who have no experience in religion to become a monk for a short period. At least they learn to how to behave himself, to be a good leader in family or it can before they get married. So that another culture that we have. But for Buddhism in this country, after many years in this country, I expect more English who may be interested in become a monk for a short time like yourself. You plan to become a monk for 3 months. What you like to say about this? Because you got some idea what you think is good for them if they're interested in becoming a monk or interest in Buddhism. How they do it in your before, and they look at you as your case has been
What are you gonna do? Sorry.
yeah.
If other people are interested in the sort of Buddhist thing and maybe doing this 3 month monk ordination, first thing to do, I think, is to do a bit of research on the basics of Buddhism. So, 5 precepts for lay people, looking into that, and why it's useful, what the effects are, and then looking more into like 8 precepts and 10 precepts to see what might come of that, what might happen in the mind and in the kind of reactions with other people, and then looking at kind of 4 Noble Truths and Noble Eightfold Path to see what the main sort of teachings are. Like there is suffering, and then there's a way out of suffering, or at least to reduce the amount of suffering caused by oneself. So I think if someone can understand these basic things first, and then get in contact with a monk and just talk about stuff, and just know that the monks are most likely going to be quite friendly and easy to speak to, and not kind of like some sort of mystical dude that doesn't speak the language. So
Okay, that is very good. Martin, can Nick, can you explain loudly, because his microphone is not that clear? So can you say exactly what Martin tried to explain? Because if you go to the other person divider, maybe not that clear. Can you say out loud for that in what he suggests? Because he talked about 5 precept, 8 precept, 10 precept.
He's talking about becoming a monk for 3 months so that the fruit could ripen, i.e. you could mature as a person in discipline, conduct and wisdom. He was talking about the 4 noble truths, learning some skills, the meditation, learning about yourself. He's also talking about dispelling this sort of like myth of what monks are, this mysticism about them, and becoming like a real person in society, really. But I believe that's what he was saying. But I believe it'd be an asset for your family, sir. You'd become a cornerstone of your family. So you could actually like teach them all Buddhism, but when there's trouble at home, you can actually help them. The amount of domestic violence signs which are up in London on every bus stop during lockdown, people could benefit so much from actually meditating every day. It would help society so much, and the more of us that know this, the more we can teach.
Right, that is very good. Panya Vachiro, we got some comment here from David Gill. He said, regarding lack of speaking English by the monks, why not make it a condition that they attend evening classes in the community? Yeah, many council offer free classes. Are you aware of that?
Not really, no. Probably David's talking about night school. I've never really looked into that. It may well be an idea when they start up again. I know they teach English and maths at those sort of levels. It might be an idea. Unfortunately, of course, they teach English to people who are already English speakers. There may be classes for people who are not English speakers. I have to look into it and find out. But a lot of in Birmingham, I know, Birmingham has sort of cut back on all of that evening class thing altogether. They really have cut back. The government reduced the funding years ago, and they probably cut it back even more now. I don't know. I just have to look. But the excuse me. The talking about bringing people into Buddhism, there is a major problem if you're talking about the English, and the major problem is that the vast majority of English are very hedonistic. They enjoy pleasure, and especially the young, they want to be out doing things and pleasuring themselves, and mostly, of course, that revolves around alcohol. And they lose their senses and do silly things, but they enjoy it. They enjoy the feeling. They enjoy the freedom that drink gives them. In other words, they lose their shyness, their inhibitions. And so the battle really is it's not a religious battle really. It's more to do with offering people an alternative way of life and showing them that it's a good way of life and that they can profit from it. I mean, you know, selfishness has to come into this because the people have got to profit from what you do or what they do, and it's got to be something solid, concrete. They have to profit from it. And if you're in trouble of any sort, mental, physical, whatever, if you're in trouble, then you're more likely to take an offer of help. But if you're not in trouble and you're out there enjoying your life, the idea of attending something to do with a Buddhist class or whatever is not, it doesn't cross their minds. And I went to see my step grandson who's 18 in a day or two's time, and all he wants to talk about is his Xbox, his girlfriend, and he's going out for a meal this evening, you know, pleasuring himself all the time. I turned up to them the first time as a monk, and it was mentioned, but not very much. And he ignored it completely. Just spoke to me as his grandfather, a distant figure in his life. So it's a bit more difficult than just knowing that if they come along that they will benefit. You've got to get them to come along first, and there has to be a reason for that. And I wouldn't like it always just to be because you're in trouble one way or another. I'd much rather it was more open, which is why I'm talking about educational institutions and those that are interested in. You see, religion is I hate to say it, but probably a dirty word. It probably is a dirty word, actually. So I think you've got to offer more than just the Buddhist religion to start with. It's only when you start to understand how valuable it is that you can become a Buddhist and think in Buddhist terms. You've got to understand how valuable it is first. Now, you can only understand how valuable it is if you have contact with it. And until we get people in that are not in trouble and in larger numbers, it's never really going to take off. No, it won't, I don't think. You've got to have larger numbers, which means monks being out in the community. And yes.
That is very good suggestion, Panyavachiro, and the monk should be out to the community. That is a very important part that I will take that your suggestion. Because
I'd like monks in the marketplace, okay?
Yes.
I would like monks to have a market stall.
Okay. Well, we will see. All of these are very good values. Very value. Your comment is value. That's very good. I like to say we are just about to finish. Nick, can you say anything that you would like to add on this?
I generally believe that Buddhism is not Buddhism, but religion has got is a dirty word because some religions are a bit greedy, sir. And once people understand the essence of Buddhism, that they will change their mind towards religion. But we have to differentiate ourselves from the others by explaining what Buddhism is and dispelling some of these illusions that have been put out there. Because I feel that we're getting tarred with the same brush.
It's true enough. It's true enough. Religion as a whole is not really very acceptable in English society.
What do you think? Not that if British accept it in society, because this country, I think one of the longest the history that Buddhism preaches, for example, the Palitech and everything like that, is in this country, and because of we are not really turned to be a very serious missionary work, because we come here to do the job that we supposed to be seen by a good quality of life for the monks and also for those who are Buddhists already. And it may be good to use some English people or ask some English people like yourself or the rest of you who are here, who are in English, and also see more about what it needs to be done for the English culture or English society to understand more in Buddhism. That is my question, because as an outsider, I've been here many years. I don't know which one is the best, because we use everything by our daily life normal. We don't really worry too much of a quality or quantity or anything that, in other words, is quite easy going in the term of Buddhist monks in the temple looked after by the people. But we would like to go further more than that. How can we can help the people more? That is my intention. That's why all of you are invited here to say something. This is the way that I think is good for the people in England or another country. So Martin, do you have anything to say before we finish? 1 minute or 2 minutes, and also Nick and also Panya Vashiro. I will give you only 2 minutes each, not more than 2 minutes each. How can you, as a person who live in this country, expect Buddhism to be approached, or how the people can the Buddhist monk can help them? Either you are as a English person, or either you are an outsider, to make the people appreciate the quality of the teaching in this country. Yeah. Okay, Martin first.
One thing that came to mind there was the compassion of the monks, which is quite clear and obvious in the way they hold themselves. Calm, loving kindness, and all that stuff is something that everyone could probably improve on. And myself included, obviously. So I just think that having these types of people in society would help a lot. Just to look at them and see how they behave. They don't need to talk too much, but for people just to kind of observe and see how they act.
Okay, that is good for your saying something, but I would like Nick to say first thing. Just try to help for us to understand more, because Martin microphone and also the camera. Your camera is not clear. Your voice is very close to your mouth. We can't hear much of you, but some of you can pick up that. Can you help us, Nick, what Martin last saying he said just now, and also make yourself comment on that too?
I believe Martin was trying to say that the monk should project his calm and the essence of being a monk. I didn't get much more what else he said, but I just think that it's about projecting the monk as he is. What I think is that what I've read about the Buddha's life is that he was walking around the Ganges and he came into contact with the Brahmin, which were more like accountants, and the essence of the Buddha is his compassion, and that's what I see here today, sir. When I look around Britain, I see more spirituality is being sold like a business, where I believe that this this is where we're getting tarred with that same brush, where Buddhism needs to show its true colours and promote itself. And once people see that in the monks, the compassion, they will ultimately be attracted to it. But we have to definitely separate ourselves from them. So we have to undo some of the damage first, because spirituality and religion is a bit of a dirty word at the moment in this country.
Thank you. Panya Vachiro, can you say some few? And this because the lady say, growing up in England, I felt religion was forced upon children. So that is why lost want to level and don't want a religion.
Actually, children today are not educated in religion. When I was a child, we had morning assembly where hymns were sung and religion was pushed down your throat. You had to go to Sunday school, which was a school in the local church, and it was very much more active than it is now. Today, you are taught about multiple religions, not one religion, in religious studies or RE, whatever they call it now. But you're only taught about them from a perspective which is not religious. You're just looking at them as though they were historical. What's what's the content of Buddhism? What's the content of Christianity? What's the content of Islam? What's the content of Judaism? You know, they don't. It's not taught. They're not given education in religion. No, it's actually against the law to do that.
Okay.
And also, yeah, it's against the law. But you know, the truth of the matter is that it's, if you go into any church today, with the dominant religion in England is Christianity. If you go into any church, there are a few elderly people in there, 4 or 5 maximum. You won't see young people there unless they're getting married or something, or being baptized. You just don't see it. There's no interest in it. I mean, they make claims which go against scientific understandings, and they shouldn't do that, because all they've done really is made themselves look silly. The Buddha doesn't do any of that. Unfortunately, Nick is right. Everyone is tarred with the same brush. In other words, everyone is thought of as being the same. Mahayana are very much more successful than Theravada in attracting English people in. And from what I can see, they attract English people in by using the current in thing, which happens to be meditation to help yourself. They don't mention Buddhism at all. They don't mention it at all. It's quite completely lay, not at all religious. When the people see the religious side of the Mahayana, which is separate, definitely separate, when they see that, some become interested. If they listen to the Dhamma, more become interested. And the only route in, really, as far as I can see, is teaching it when they're young, giving them an understanding of what we're about, a more colourful understanding than they get from ordinary religious education teachers, and enjoying what they see and hear and whatever, so that it doesn't have that bad taste of religion. They're not being told what to do and how to think, because that's what happens in Christianity, and it goes against real education. And the children quite early on they reject it, basically. So you'll see very, very few young people in church unless they're accompanying parents, and you hardly ever see parents, actually. It's mostly elderly people. And the churches are being sold off all over the country. It's quite easy to find a church for sale in any given area, because they're having to close them down. They can't keep afford to keep them. And that's just been a continuing process in the last 30 years. So when you're actually saying, well, let's promote Buddhism, you've really got to promote the benefits of Buddhism. And one of the main benefits that's seen all the time is the act of meditation. But as I've said, if it's painted in a Buddhist terms, you won't. I don't think you'll attract many people because of what I've just said earlier on. It's got to be like the Mahayana do it, and that is come to us for meditation to make your lives better for whatever reason. There's lots of different approaches, but for whatever reason, make your lives better. And by being in a place where people are practicing Buddhism, then those normal sorts of people become interested. I mean, I would not be here now had I not accompanied a lady to meditate.
Right.
I certainly
Okay,
wouldn't
that
be.
is very good, Banyamachiro. So I'm sorry to disturb you now.
Well,
I think that
actually, I've got
what
to
you
go.
have said is wonderful. It's very good. All of you who today, I would like to thank three of you, Nick, and then Martin, and also Banyamachiro. Banyamachiro, he's just about to go back to Poland tomorrow, and I would like to thank all of you who are involving. In my guest for this Friend in Dhamma program this evening. Without you, I don't think our program will be valued because I have to ask English people who know English better, in cultures better than me, understand the background of your belief. That is very important. May the power of the Triple Gem, the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha, may the power of your practicing the Dhamma help you to be happy and success in your life. Abhivadana sile sanichang vuttha pachayino chattaro dhamma vatthanti ayuvanno sukhang phalang. Thank you very much. Thank you.